What's up, YouTube? We're back. You guys missed us, so we decided to make a comeback.
A lot of people have been asking what happened with us. Nobody knows what has gone on. And I think the last time that we uploaded was, I don't know, it was a long time ago. And I was pregnant. I'm no longer pregnant. I have not been pregnant for some time now. I mean, we do have a lot of stuff that we want to share, and we wanted to share this whole journey.
Yeah.
But,
Life happens.
And it keeps happening. Let me actually go back and look at the last thing that we uploaded so we know where to start. The last video that we posted was 5 months ago. And it was when we first learned that Carter was growing slow. Where we left off was when we first found out that Carter was small, that she was growing small. So the next, I think it was 2 weeks after that video, no, a week after that video, we had another scan because we were getting scans quite often. We ended up getting scans twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And that was to monitor Carter and to see if she was growing, and if she was growing, how much she was growing by, and to monitor the umbilical cord flow. So the next week she went down a percentile. She was in the 6th percentile after that video. So it was a little concerning, and we had planned, my mom had planned to have a baby shower for us on May 26th, which was Memorial Day weekend. After that appointment, I went to said husband, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable keeping that date, and I don't feel comfortable.
She's like, I'm not gonna make it.
I don't think I'm gonna make it. So, the doctor had told us that we were gonna be early, and they told us that a while ago. But then as the time was moving, I felt like it was getting sooner and sooner. So I didn't feel comfortable with it. We ended up having an impromptu baby shower that weekend.
So if you weren't invited, or I forgot to invite you, or any of that, it was like just thrown together.
Literally,
like last minute.
We threw it together on Thursday, and the baby shower happened on Saturday. So it wasn't that we didn't want to invite certain people or anything. It was literally just let me scroll through Facebook and let me scroll through my recent messages and message people and try to give as many people as we can a chance to, be a part of this impromptu baby shower. So it happened. The baby shower was awesome, and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And, just...
What day did we have on?
It was on a Saturday.
I'm trying to think of the date.
Oh, I can tell you what day, because it was the day before. It was the week before I went in. So the shower was April 6th.
Yeah.
So I was 27 weeks pregnant, and that's when we had the baby shower. It came out amazing. The amount of people that came was ridiculous. It was such a good turnout for such a last minute thing, and we are so forever grateful.
We deeply appreciate it.
Yes. It was amazing. So after that, I went to the next appointment, which was on that following Tuesday, so on the 9th. Was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was okay. So we went the next appointment. So this is April 12th. And when we went in, I believe that, that wasn't, I don't think it was a growth, because I was getting growths on Tuesday. So I was due for a growth the following Tuesday on the 16th. So on the 12th, I went in, and my mom actually was coming with me for these appointments. And I was watching the screen And I know what to look for by now because I've done it so many times. So I'm looking and I see the umbilical cord flow. So those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, there's a flow of blood and nutrients that pumps through the umbilical cord from yourself to the baby, from the placenta to the baby. It should be a steady flow,
Low, yeah.
like a wave.
Yeah.
But in this particular ultrasound, the flow was like this, and it would stop, it would disappear, and then it'd come back. So there was gaps in between it. Not a lot of them. I think it was maybe 2. But 2 was enough to cause concern, because if it continues to have gaps, then the flow can stop. And if the flow stops, the baby gets no nutrients, the baby cannot survive. And that's actually how a lot of people have stillbirths, by not knowing that the umbilical cord stopped working, and then you end up giving birth and not knowing that your baby had passed. So when the doctor was talking to us about, I knew what she was going to say. So when we went into the room with her, I knew my mom didn't know what that meant, what the ultrasound meant. So she was explaining, she was like, okay, there's these intermittent breaks.
Pauses.
Yeah, intermittent. They were intermittent. And she gave me the option to either be admitted into the hospital or to continue on as we've been going. And I did not feel comfortable staying out of the hospital, knowing that there were intermittent breaks like that. You don't want to see those. So of course I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to admit me. So April 12th, I was admitted to the hospital, and that is where I stayed. I was in the hospital for 6 weeks, I believe. 5 or 6 weeks.
And unfortunately, at these hospitals, you cannot spend the night. So I was driving back and forth from my house to work, to back to the house, to the hospital,
which was
back
about
home,
30 minutes away.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Single day.
In the hospital that I was in, he would be able to sleep, spend the night with me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to have a roommate. If I had a roommate, then he couldn't stay with me. And more often than not, I had a roommate, which was terrible for me. I don't think we've spent any nights away from each other. So the thing, my phone just ran out of space. So, yeah, so we hadn't spent any night away from each other for a very long, years upon years. So that was hard for me, especially the first night that he left. It was very difficult.
I felt like crap.
Yeah.
I felt like a whole bunch of crap, even though I know there's nothing I could really do. But it's just a sucky predicament.
It was a sucky predicament. So, I mean, nothing really to say about the stay.
It was long.
It was long. It was long. Very,
and since,
very long.
Since she came off, nice to people and, didn't really want to cause problems, it, emptied them? That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it made them want to give her a roommates. Since she was, the least person to cause trouble.
I was not problematic, so they kept giving me roommates after roommates after roommates after roommates. I had roommates all the time. I think I had 5 roommates altogether.
Happy anniversary, y'all.
Thank you. I don't know what we're talking about. What were you saying?
Shit.
They kept giving me roommates.
Boom, yeah.
And, it was annoying.
So it would be I'd be able to, stay, when I was off, probably one weekend, then, somewhere in the middle of the week, she'll text me at work, and then it's babe, I got another roommate. So then she'll be sad and upset, and then, there's, hormones, are through the roof.
And you're stuck in a hospital. You can't do anything. You are stuck in a hospital, have to eat food from the hospital every day. It's not fun, but it wasn't terrible. I wouldn't say that it was torturous. It wasn't as bad.
It wasn't that bad. Yeah.
It wasn't. But it was a long time. So, fast forward a little bit.
Hold up, wait, boom. So like the food in the hospital. All right, they have a place called an Au Bon Pan.
Au Bon Pan.
Au Bon.
Au Bon Pan.
They know what I'm talking about as soon as they
ABP.
get in there. So, that's what we were living off for the majority of our stay, and then we found out the cafeteria
Was popping.
in Westchester Medical
Was popping.
is different. It's different. Like, if we would have known that, it would have been a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, it
was
it
great.
slaps.
It was
slaps.
great.
Nobody told us. I think that's something you should tell somebody. If we've been communicating with y'all for months and y'all
Right.
knew about this, but yeah, the cafeteria is where it's at.
So, fast forward a little bit to May 7th. That was May 7th. How long was I in labor?
36 hours.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out. I know what day it was. Yeah. So, fast forward to May 7th.
Oh.
That was my next growth. And while we were in the hospital, that whole stay while I was in the hospital, the rule, something to keep in the back of my mind was if movements were to stop or slow down, or the growth, if she doesn't grow, or if she grows too little, she needed to gain 200 grams every 2 weeks during my growth scans. And if she did not meet that criteria, she would have to come out. I would be induced.
Yeah.
So on May 7th, I had my growth scan. I was by myself, and I actually had 2 interns there that day that were on my looking in on the ultrasound, and it's a tech that I had. So she's going through the scans, and I'm paying attention, but the way that she has the screen, I can't see that much. So at the end, I kind of had a feeling like that doesn't seem right. So I asked her how much did she gain, and she was like, oh, let me calculate it. So she calculated it, and it was 46 grams, which means she only gained 46 grams in 2 weeks out of the 200 she was supposed to gain. So when she said that, I don't even know. A lot of things happened in my head. I was kind of a mess, kind of not. I was trying to mentally prepare myself of what was supposed to happen after this.
Well, let me correct that. She would prompt it and ready and prepare herself because she knew what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, so...
But what did happen?
Just wait. So when she told me that, she walks me back to my room. I go to my room, and I sit there, and I just start crying. Because I'm like, I don't know if I was actually ready for that. And you get scared, especially when you're carrying this human and you are its home and you are supposed to keep this human safe. So that was a lot. So I had to I called my husband, I called my mom, and I was like, guys, I'm going to be induced today. And the doctor hadn't come in to talk to me to confirm that or anything, but I knew that I needed to be induced. So I'm waiting for the doctor to come in and prepare me for that. My mom got there first, and my husband got there second. And we were pretty much just sitting there waiting, and then eventually the doctor comes on. And now there are doctors, the doctors rotate. There's 4 doctors, they rotate. I had went through all 3 of them, but one I didn't have. This is a new doctor. It's Tuesday. They start rounds on Monday. So on Tuesday, I have this doctor that I've only met once before. And I know she's not the head of the department. She has one of the doctors that I deal with on a daily basis. I've had this doctor for 5 weeks now. He comes in and he's like, okay, nothing's gonna happen. We're just gonna wait and see what happens. Try to get you to 34 weeks. And I was 31 weeks and 2 to 3 days. And I'm like, no, like that's not right.
Yeah, that wasn't the plan.
That was not the plan. And he should know, because when you're doing the rounds, you have the rounding doctor, and then you have doctors that are with them, and the nurse practitioner and a nurse. So there's a whole bunch of them, and he was in most of those rounds. So to me, I'm just like, I know that's not what's supposed to happen. So he's like, okay, like, he walks away. And I'm like, okay. I'm sitting there the whole day, and I'm genuinely scared and bothered, because I know that that's not what's supposed to happen. And because I have a different doctor, like, how is it that all three of my doctors agree on these terms, but the one doctor, this new doctor that's rounding, does not understand what they're saying, and she's not on the same page. So I ended up having to put in a fight. I had the doctor call the head of the department and confirm with him if that was what was supposed to happen, and he actually confirmed what I said, that I needed to be induced. So that this was hours that this took. So the doctor came in, and he was like, okay, yeah, the doctor said that that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm like, what? He's like, okay, like, we're going now. You're going to be induced. Like, get your stuff. So I'm like, okay, this is happening, guys. This is a thing. So we went in to be induced. It took hours to start. And he went and got some stuff for him, because they explained when you're induced, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
So he went and
had to drop off a lot of stuff. There's so much stuff.
I had a lot of stuff because I was there for so long.
So then it's like I had to bring like bags and bags of stuff.
And I wasn't going back to the room that I was in, because they separate the antebellum moms and the moms now. So I had to empty out my room, which meant that he had to bring all that stuff home and put it away himself. So went in, I was induced. The whole thing was crazy. Because she was so early, they had to give me what?
I got sidetracked.
Because she was so early, they had to give me a medicine that was supposed to protect her brain for labor. And that had me feeling some type of way.
Do good with drugs.
I don't do good with drugs. This is how you guys know I will never be a drug addict.
When I say I got back and she was high as a kite.
I was high.
I'm like, what? She was just laughing. She just wanted to keep it, because they gave her Jello, like, during labor. Like, the only thing she could have is like Jello and water. No, Jello and
Ices. Italian
and she
ices.
kept eating the Jello. Jello tastes so good. It was the red Jello, like, tastes like cold syrup. So
Tastes great.
She was slurping them things down.
So time is passing. I got everything. I had the balloon. I had
the fingers.
Yeah, I had everything. Yeah. They broke my water. I had Pitocin. I had everything. And at the end of this, I was in labor for 36 hours.
With a veiled epidural.
Not yet. I had, at the end of it, at 12 or so, 12 midnight on May 9th, I had an epidural put in because they were going to start kicking up my Pitocin. And my mom was like, look, I know you want to do it naturally, but Pitocin is no joke. Like, I was able to breathe through all of my contractions and everything. I was okay. They were not fun, but they weren't bad. I was able to breathe through them, but my mom was like, you're not going to do it. So I did it. And then life happened and got very scary a couple hours later. I had fallen asleep after because I was able to sleep through everything. The doctors come in, and they are talking to me, and they're like, look, it's been a while. I'm going to check and see if, how far you've gotten. I was only, huh?
Stuck at 3.
I was stuck at 3 for that whole time. I was stuck at 3 centimeters, and then they had turned me onto my side. No, before they had turned me onto my side, Carter's heart rate dropped. So like a rush of doctors come in, and there are a whole bunch of them, and a lot of them I've been with. I've been my whole stay in the hospital. I've been with them, so they know me. So I had one doctor that I was very close with. She came, she held my hand, and they made me turn to my side, and it was terrifying. For Carter's heart rate to drop like that, you don't know what's happening, and you don't want for this to be the thing that, like, after all of this, you don't want to lose your child. So for that to happen, it's terrifying. And they're telling me, like, you need to turn to your side now, like right now, quickly, like, and I can't feel my bottom half. So I'm trying to turn and move my body with just my upper and dead weight. So I'm trying really hard. They're helping me. I turn onto my side. I'm crying, and the doctor that I'm close with is like, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's gonna be fine. And they're like, I'm C-section. I'm like, listen, just take her out. Like, take her out now. So my mom and Tay, they were both asleep. Then they were awake. He had to scrub up and scrub in.
The tightest. I don't know if other dads can leave a comment or let me know. They gave me the tightest onesie type sterile thing suit, whatever the hell you call that shit. The suit is the tightest suit I ever wore in my life. I don't know, and I know there's a lot of bigger dads out there than me, like way bigger.
Probably can't fit it.
I know y'all didn't fit in that. Like, it was, I was struggling in there, and I was like, the only thing that sidetracked me from that was like my child's about to be born, but my jewels down there, it might be my last kid. It was hugging in all the wrong places and right.
So they got me to the OR room. They put me on the table. And because I have an epidural, they have to continue to give me epidural. I can't have any other anesthetic.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm by myself. He can't come in yet. They're prepping me, and they bring him in, and they start to they had done the procedure. They had started to cut. Now, I felt the first things, and I'm like thinking, this isn't right. And I'm freezing. It's cold in there. And I feel it cut again. And I'm like, wait, no, this is painful. So after the second cut, like, I felt the layers that they were doing when they were cutting me. And I said, ow. And they were like, is this pain or is it discomfort? And I'm like, no, this is pain. Like, this is pain. So the anesthesia.
By this time when they started doing all that, I was in the room.
Yeah, he was in the room. The anesthesiologist made everybody stop. She bumped up my medicine and waited a little bit, and by that time I was gone.
It was like you watch like life leave someone's eye. Like, her pupils like dilated, and she just went limp. Her tongue just like went to the side of her mouth, like inside her mouth. She was gone.
I was gone.
And then when she came back, I didn't know what she didn't know. Nobody else knew what the hell she was talking about.
I was talking about very weird stuff. I don't know. And to me, when I'm looking, he's off to the side of me, and I'm looking at him, and I see clouds and stuff around his head, and nothing is sequential, really. I didn't know what was going on. And then at what time?
Oh yeah, I forgot. That was at 5:41.
Carter
5:41.
Renee Watson was born.
So after 36 hours.
After 36
a failed
hours.
epidural.
Yep, and a C-section. Little girl came.
Which is 2 pounds.
2 pounds, 14 ounces, and she was 18 inches long. And I apparently saw her, but I don't remember seeing her. I vaguely remember seeing her when I turned to the side, but I was so out of it I don't remember. So then, I feel like this is going to be a 2-part. Shit is long. So then, they take me to post-op. The sun is in a fucked up spot.
It's on your chin. How you say the sun's in a fucked up spot? The sun's always there.
But it's moving. So in post-op, I wake up and stuff, and then I'm sitting there and waiting, and
It's kind of
yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's better. So in post-op, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and my mom and Tay come in, and I get to see them for the first time, and they are like, "Oh my God, she's beautiful," and we went up to see her, and you know, yeah, and then you went again because you guys had to leave.
I had to go like 2-3 times because the whole since she was preemie, like they were hooking her up to like a bunch of stuff, like so it was like taking forever.
So then they were like, okay, we're gonna go. They gave them a 30-minute window that they can come back. So that time had came, and I was like, yeah, you guys go. When they left, the people came in to clean me up, and they turned me. I had to turn to my side. When I turned to my side, I immediately felt like I was dying. Like, not even joking, not like in a funny sense. Like, I legit felt like I was dying. I don't know how to explain it. So, I was losing consciousness. And I told them, like, I don't feel good. Like, this isn't right. Then a whole bunch of doctors come rushing over. They're trying to keep me awake. They're like, Malia, you need to stay with us. So eventually they had to give me a shot of something, but they also were doing an internal exam, and it hurt so bad. That was worse than labor. That internal exam was worse than labor. I was crying and yelling, like screaming at the top of my lungs, please stop. So they stopped. It was over. It was scary. The nurse was scared. Like, everybody was scared. The nurse was like, okay, please, like, are you okay? Like, please don't do that to me. Like, I need you to be okay. And I'm like, okay. My mom and Tay come back, and they have no idea what just happened. So I'm explaining to them what happened. And it was a lot. So then they eventually moved me to my new room. And my nurses, by this time, I have personal relationships with all of them. And especially the charge nurse, and they made sure that I had my own room this time, so husband can stay with me. He won't leave me.
And I had taken time off for work.
Yeah,
so.
That started his time off. So, yeah. That's pretty much what happened from the last video to the birth of Carter, and I would love for you guys to meet her. I want you guys to meet her. I really do. Okay. So I'm just going to show you her because she's asleep and she is using the bathroom. So we're just going to quickly show you the bean. I call her Bean. That is Carter. Yeah. She is now, she'll be 4 months old on Thursday. She is now over 9 pounds. So that's a big difference, and she is 21 and a half inches.
Why do you keep telling us that we're making a part 2? Like,
because I'm just catching them up. We'll do the postpartum stuff after. Right. So that was our catch up, our birth story, the rest of our pregnancy update. That was everything in one little video. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna have a second part, and that will be postpartum and everything else. Please like, comment,
subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
And all that other stuff. And we will see you in the next video.